Okay.
We are live and welcome to another Sunday night of 80s animated action. Tonight I'm joined by two lovely ladies. One gorgeous lady in particular, Jen Mitchell from Jen's Reviews from the Grave, my girlfriend, and the awesome, fabulous, and spectacular Ethel Cross. And we are talking about two awesome teams from our childhood, two teams of four from New York, very different but similar in certain kinds of ways. And we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles. Um, Ghostbusters are the real Ghostbusters, as it's known, to avoid confusion with Filmation, because Filmation wanted to capitalize on the popularity of the movie. Essentially, they re-released the cartoon of Ghostbusters, which was very different. I think there was like a gorilla driving a vintage kind of car, and there was like Dracula and stuff. Jen, do you remember that Ghostbusters?
I didn't watch it, but I do know what you're talking about, because as a kid I'd get confused because sometimes they play that old cartoon and I'd be like, oh man, because I would be expecting this kind of Ghostbusters with the
Yeah.
Marshmallow Man and the ghost and stuff. So it was a bit confusing. It was just a smidge confusing, but I do remember it. I've never watched it though, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but when Deke Animations started, they decided to label the movie adaptation, the animated movie adaptation, the real Ghostbusters. And yeah, it actually it follows on fairly closely to the movie. The first episode actually takes place right after, where you have the remnants of and it gives an explanation to why they're wearing different colored uniforms and stuff. The remnants of Gozer the Gozerian, who was in the Marshmallow Man, is on their old uniform, so they decide to bin the uniforms, and the uniforms become possessed by the anti-Ghostbusters. And at the same time, because of Gozer's energy, Slimer, who they nicknamed Slimer, was originally called Onion Head. The character was originally called Onion Head. It was only the cartoon that he got the nickname Slimer, escapes from the containment unit and helps them. And yeah, that's why they have different colored uniforms, because their other uniforms become haunted and try to kill them. And that's why Slimer is with them. Can you remember anything in particular about that show, Jen, that you
Yeah,
loved or
I
hated or didn't like?
what I remember most, again, it was sort of like He-Man. I mean, although the cartoon was good, not to say that He-Man's cartoon wasn't good, but they definitely had another agenda, because merchandising. I mean, you had the toys. That's what I remember more than anything, is all the action figures and the toys. And I remember you could even have the ghost traps. Boy, you could have the ghost traps, which always looked cool. And I that was just really neat. The cartoon itself wasn't bad. They got the voices pretty close to the actual actors from the original Ghostbusters movie, but it was a lot of fun. What I really liked is the inclusion of Slimer. Slimer was always my favorite, and I liked that they made him more of a prominent thing in the show. I really
Yeah.
did that.
Is there any episode that stands out that you can remember?
Not really. I was a casual fan. I was a casual fan.
Cool, cool. You were saying about the voice actors. Obviously, there's a whole thing with Lorenzo Music voicing Peter Venkman, which is kind of ironic, because Lorenzo Music also voiced Garfield,
Garfield and
and
Friends.
in Garfield and Garfield and Friends, and later on, Bill Murray went to voice Garfield in
The
the
movies.
live action. Would
Hmm.
you call it live action? Yeah, live action version of Garfield. And so essentially, Lorenzo Music is the animated version of Bill Murray.
Hmm.
Um, One thing that boggles the mind, and I feel so bad, right? Ernie Hudson went for the role, the voice cast. He wanted to get the role of Winston, and he went for it. And keep in mind, this is the character he played in the movie, the animated equivalent, which would have been awesome but he was told he didn't sound black enough.
Yeah.
So our Arsenio Hall got the job.
Mm-hmm. And Arsenio Hall was good. I like Arsenio Hall because growing up when I did, I remember the Arsenio Hall show, and I remember him with Eddie Murphy working in Coming to America, and I knew that I liked the voice, but it wasn't Ernie Hudson, and it would have been a lot cooler. And I think most people would have preferred to have the original actor from the movie playing him as opposed to Arsenio Hall. Although Arsenio Hall is very cool, and he doesn't do a bad voice acting job.
Oh no, he doesn't. It doesn't. It just sucks because like Super Friends or Superpowers. Hudson actually voiced Cyborg, and he had just started. I think he got to do 4 or 5 episodes, and he was like excited because he was going to appear more prominently in the next season, and they cancelled it after the season he started. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, no, it was interesting. There was some really cool episodes. There's one called "Don't Open Till Doomsday," very Eldritch kind of cartoon. Yeah, there is the cool thing, like the movie. There was a lot of Lovecraftian ideals, like ancient civilizations and monsters underneath New York, and some of them were silly. There was another one with like a ghost version of The Simpsons. I don't know if anyone ever saw that, but that was their kind of answer to The Simpsons. But I digress. I'm going to move on. Ethel, what do you remember of the real Ghostbusters?
I remember it being really good, and I remember them incorporating a lot of the techno babble type stuff that Egon would do in the movie, but they did it more so in the series. Like it feels like you get a little bit more of that, which is great because, like, kids have questions. Like, I remember there was this one episode where they got shrunk down to like, they were really small. They were like a little bit bigger than ants. And they fell out of a window onto a moving car's windshield. And they're like, how are our bones not broken? And then Egon was like, oh, well, because of our size, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, see, that's a good explanation. Like, I was wondering, like, I'm like, wouldn't they be dead?
Yeah, they didn't. It didn't talk down to kids, and it was fairly funny. It was like there was a good sense of humor. There's like again there's some brilliant moments with Peter in Do Not Open Till Doomsday. It's probably my favorite episode where they're on a track, they're on a subway train, and there's only a lady just on the platform, and like Peter goes up to her being the cool pure ladies man. He's like, "Hey babe, you shouldn't be on the track. You shouldn't be out here alone." And she turns her face and it's a skeleton. He's like, whoa, serious case of gingivitis there, lovely. And then there's another bit where they have to close. The episode reminds me very much of the Ghostbusters movie, where they have to close the door, they have to cross the streams and shoot them into the kind of netherworld. And Peter turns to, they're pinned down behind this big monolith. And Peter's like, hey, Ray, the neighbors are playing their ghetto blaster a bit louder. Want to come with me and tell them to turn it off? I was like, yeah, that's something that like the character in the movie would say as well. Just looking over the chat as well. Strange Monkey says Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. You can't go wrong with those. Master of Fear, Kara, she says I've been watching some real Ghostbusters. It's pretty good, but I heard later on in the show it's not so good. Like any show, there's kind of longevity, kind of it's the case of diminishing returns. But I digress. It's still a fun show. Jen? Did you have any of the toys growing up?
Actually, no, and I'm sorry. Now I really am kicking myself because I thought they were cool, but at that time, like it's weird, and I don't know if this is wrong or not, but like because they were kind of marketed toward boys, it never occurred to me to even ask for them because in my head and I know that's horrible, but as a little girl, I was like, okay, they're for boys, so I can't play with them, even though I liked a lot of the horror and the villain, like your fearsome flush, and I remember the werewolf. I really loved the werewolf, and I could kick myself because probably if I'd asked my parents, they would have been cool to get him for me. But I never thought to ask. But I remember always thinking those are cool looking. So.
Oh yeah, they kicked arse. They absolutely kicked
But I
arse.
was kind of conditioned, like what? No, you were kind of conditioned. Okay, these are for boys, these are for girls, and that was definitely marketed as a boys thing.
Yeah, I think She-Ra was clever because they kind of snuck in action figures for girls. But I'm wondering did they release and this might sound kind of maybe this is kind of demeaning or pandering, but like I wonder could you have gotten like a Janine or something and her Beetle.
Didn't
Because
they have a
Janine,
Janine? Because I remember her eyes popped out, or am I dreaming of that?
yeah, no, there was a lot of those. There was a lot of those figures. Like for example, this guy here. He's I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, I can't.
His
Yeah.
hair goes up and stuff like that. Like they had a lot of those kind of scared figures. I love these. A lot of people say that was kind of the downside, all the kind of excess figures they made. But like, I mean, like, what kid wouldn't like this?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Go ahead,
like,
Ethel.
Well, I just said I had that one that Marty held up.
Okay.
And Jen got me this guy, and he's awesome. He's like a killer toilet. It's the best thing ever.
I always wanted the werewolf one. I remember for some reason the werewolf one is the one that always stuck out in my stuff. I remember the werewolf, and I always thought that would be the coolest one to have. Would be the werewolf, but it never. And I'm mad at myself. But at the time, it was like boys' toys and girls' toys. They were kind of separate, and it never occurred to me.
Like if you could go back and buy Little Jen toys, what Ghostbusters toys would you got?
I would have gotten like all the monsters because again the horror stuff. Like I probably would have gotten a lot of them. And I remember thinking the firehouse. Now this is just a Playmobil, but the actual original one from the 80s looked super cool. Like it looked really fun to play with and have a thing. I would love to get that, and I would actually even like to get the ghost packs that they had. The boys, I remember
the proton pack with the foam
proton
beam.
packs.
The
Yeah.
proton pack with the foam beam. I had the Ecto 1 and I stupidly gave it to my cousin. And about 6 or 7 years after I gave it to my cousin, I found it and the roof was gone and the windows were gone and one of the wheels were gone.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, I felt sick to my stomach. I was like, that was cool. The only thing was, this guy hasn't a helmet, but only this Egon and this Ray could drive it. And Winston, I had a Winston, but he's gone to God now. But essentially, the guys with the special packs, they wouldn't be able to sit in the car easily. Hey, Scott Stevens.
Hey,
Ben
welcome,
Grimm.
Scott.
I like the bad guy. Yeah, Ben, we'll be getting to that in a second, dude. So don't go anywhere because we'll be talking about them in a second. And we have Little back. Sorry about this. I gotta stretch.
Marty,
Sorry, that's happening.
You're okay. But what about you, Ethel? Did you have any Ghostbusters toys growing up? What ones did you have, and what ones would you love to have had?
Oh, I had the guy in the oh jeez, it's been so long I remember who it is. But I had the guy with the teal suit that you held up earlier, and that guy right there.
That's Ray. That's Ray. It was kind of Manny-Face's kind of job, basically the face going around. And I gotta say, these figures, like even Egon. I got this Egon when I was 5. Okay, he's El Floppo. Don't get me wrong. He's El Floppo. But these motherfuckers lasted. Like, and I was a rough kid. Like I fucking played the hell out of my brother's Masters of the Universe. Sorry, Ethel, I went on a tangent. But yeah, go on. You had Ray. Did you have any others?
I had Ray, and I think I had Egon, but I don't know. I only had like 2 figures for for Ghostbusters, and I had a friend who had the toilet.
Ooh.
That
And I
toilet's
used to
amazing.
I used to like going over to his house, and I just play with the toilet. Which, all right, that sounds weird out of context, but like no, the yeah, right there.
That's
That
fucking awesome. This toilet is the best. Like, fucking, I put Harley on this toilet, and she got an accident licking out from the fucking cistern. Like, you know, it's just, it's a nightmare scenario, Jen. Like, what would you think if you got like fucking felt up by the toilet? Terrifying, right?
Yeah, because only you can do that, darling.
Okay. Thanks, babe. But Ethel, if you could own any of the figures, what ones would you have liked to have gotten your hands on?
I want the Mantis cab or like Beetle, the Mantis Beetle. Was it Beetle, right?
Yeah, that was Janine's
Was it
car.
yellow? It was
Yeah.
yellow, right? I remember that too.
Yeah.
That
And
one was cool.
There
I
was
always
the
liked
Ecto
that.
too.
I always liked that, and when I was obviously when this was new and I was a lot younger, I always wanted the proton pack, but I guess like it was too much money, so I never got it.
It was essentially a piece of foam that swirled around, right?
I think so, but the commercial made it look so cool, and I remember and one of them was a blonde boy. I remember that, and I think they were in a hallway, and they were like, "Whoa!" and it made it look cool.
But yeah, do you think, is there anything you think the cartoon did that the two movies, did better, Ethel?
Well, like there was this one episode that I remember quite vividly where they got to go inside the storage container, the storage unit.
Oh, the containment unit, and they had to fight all. Basically, it's like the episode where the cop is sent to jail and he has to face off against all the lads he put there, right?
Yeah, and they had the Marshmallow Man was there, which didn't make any sense because they blew him up. But you know,
don't worry about it. He's a sailor. It's his first time in New York. All we need to do is get him laid, and we'll be fine. I love that line.
Marty, would the marshmallow, would his dick be kind of spongy and soft?
I suppose it tastes like marshmallow as well.
Yeah, I guess that'd be good.
Oh my God! When he arrives, he would get a bunch of fluffernutter.
Yeah, Cara, is that the repro ones that came out? Because the toilet I have and the newer Egon I have, Jen got me. They don't really. Seriously, Ethel, if you ever wanted to start kind of collecting them again, they're not that dear either, are they, Jen?
No, they're not too bad. No, they're not too bad at all. And even if you can look, like if you go on eBay and find lots, like they've gotten a little more expensive through the years, but sometimes you can find a deal even on the vintage ones. Of course, some of them aren't in the best condition, but you can find good deals sometimes on the vintage ones.
But
do you suppose that the price is still somewhat reasonable given their age and stuff because they were so well made and they made so many of them?
Maybe.
Probably. But again, the reproductions, they've actually, it's one of the cases where when a newer company, Hasbro, have redone the toys, and do you remember the issue you were talking about with the figures' beams?
Yeah, their beams always break off.
Yeah, they've replaced them with a more malleable plastic, so they're not as brittle, so they don't break so easy. So that's a pretty cool thing. Like, I'd say get the new ones because they're pretty fucking swish, like. Like I don't know, but is there any other episodes of the Ghostbusters you can remember that you really enjoyed, Ethel?
Yeah, I remember this really weird one where Egon was using people's tears to make stuff. Like, and he ended up at the end of the episode, spoilers, he ended up making everybody egg salad sandwiches, and they were all enjoying them. And he's like, oh, well, or no, it wasn't tears, it was sweat. And he's like, oh, I've put sweat in it. And it's like, what the fuck?
Why the fuck would he do that?
I don't know. Do you remember that episode, Marty?
No, I do not. I remember the one where they end up going to Lupinsville, and the town's been taken over by vampires, and they're like, oh fuck, what do we do? They're totally outmatched, and they realize their weapons, photon packs can't stop vampires. And then Egon goes down, and there's like the entire townsfolk have been like kept in cells under the town. And he's like, let us out. And Egon's like, lets them out and goes, quick, flee to the woods. And they're like, we're not fleeing anywhere. We're going to take these guys out. And Egon's like, they're vampires. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. Is the moon up? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, shit. And it turns out the entire townsfolk are werewolves. And they start like murdering the shit out of each other. And Egon's like, get in the car. He goes, what's up, Egon? Okay, what happens when a vampire bites a human? They turn into a vampire. What happens when a werewolf bites a human? They turn into a werewolf. Okay, so what happens when a vampire and a werewolf bites each other? And it's just, they start turning into these weird hybrids and killing each other. It's a pretty cool episode. If you get a chance, check it out. That, do not open till Doomsday. The pilot one, where it shows what happens right after, where the costumes become possessed. Oh, there's a really nice one with the boogeyman. The boogeyman comes out of the closet.
I remember that
one. Vendetta against the boogeyman, and there's these two kind of really nice, lovable African American kids, and Winston like decides to stay and like watch over the kids because he's like, yeah, I'm not letting anything happen to these two. It's just a really nice kind of cool episode. If you get a chance, check it out. There are some weaker episodes. Ethel, do you remember the one where they end up busting all the ghosts and decide to become crime fighters?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That one. I remember that one.
That was weird. It's just like they turned their kind of the fucking neutrino ones could shoot out cages and catch the bad guys, and it's like, the fuck? No, you're the Ghostbusters. Bust some ghosts.
That's right up there with the egg salad sandwiches made of sweat.
Oh God.
Marty, did you prefer the movies or the cartoon, or which one did you like better?
I think the cartoon. The cartoon, and I liked. It got a sequel series in the early 2000s called Extreme Ghostbusters, which is a like cool continuation.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that, Ethel?
Yeah, they had a girl. Yeah, they had a girl Ghostbuster who had like sort of a punk look to her, or a rock chick look.
Yeah, she was a kind of punk.
Yeah, and they had a handy-capable Ghostbuster who had a wheelchair.
And it was Eduardo. Eduardo was kind of the Peter Venkman. He's like full of shit, and he fancied Kylie. And like it was basically a passing of the torch, and it was pretty cool. The animation, it wasn't Deke that done the animation, but they kept some of the styles and designs. It was the same crew behind the Jumanji animated series and the Men in Black animated series. And again, the ghost designs in this and the other one were really good. And Ethel, I don't know if you're a fan. Are you a fan of Babylon 5, Ethel?
No, I could never get into Babylon 5. The CGI and the weird haircut on Garibaldi really took me out of the show.
Okay. Well, J. Michael Straczynski wrote a number. Sorry.
I just wanted to point out to any future screenwriters or whatever that may be watching. Yeah, I know there's like none, but like, all right, if you're gonna create a character and you're gonna call them Baldy, do not give them like a prominent bald head type thing with like a peacock hair around it. Like, just don't do that
Yeah, that's
because
just asking for trouble. That's just
yeah,
asking for trouble.
it's hard to take it seriously at that point. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Comic book writer and sci-fi writer J. Michael Straczynski wrote for the first 2 seasons, and yeah, I think some of the best episodes. I think he wrote "Do Not Open to Doomsday." Sorry, I keep on bringing up that episode. It's a fucking brilliant episode. But he done a great episode, and it's just again, it's so good. So if you want to get your kids in to Ghostbusters and you're sure, well, maybe it's a bit too scary from the first 2 movies. Maybe try the animated show. Maybe try maybe try the Extreme Ghostbusters 2016. And I have yet to watch because I'm hearing so much mixed shit. Thanks Full Moon for getting rid of Wolf Hong, whatever the fuck, I don't know. But yeah, Jen, you've seen it. You told me Afterlife is left wanting, lackluster.
It
Is
was
it merely fan service?
Okay, see, I'm weird. Like, I like Ghostbusters the movie, I like it, but even though I'm an 80s child, there are other movies from the 80s that mean a little bit more to me. I don't have anything problem with the Ghostbusters, but it's kind of just there for me. So maybe I'm not the right audience, but I found it to be a little manipulative, and I don't mind fan service because I'm a Halloween fan, so I can't bitch about fan service, but it seemed to be a little bit overused, and I thought the ending, well, some people were bawling even when I went to go see it, and I had seen it, and I went to go see it when it was pretty much everyone had already seen it. There were still a few people in the theater, and a couple people had tears in their eyes, and I just was sitting there dry-eyed thinking, okay. But don't listen to me, guys, because a lot of people really do love it, and maybe if it means more to you than it means to me, you'll get more out of it. You get a lot of nods. You get your characters back. There's a tribute to Harold Ramis. It didn't do much for me. I kind of thought it was a little bit like, really, we're doing this, but some people really thought it was beautiful.
There is actually even a nod to the animated series in the fact that the Ecto-1 has a gunner seat. It never had a gunner seat in the original, but in the animated series and the second Ecto-1 that was released, it had a gunner seat. So I like that. They're even trying to placate the fans. But yeah, again, if it's just blatant fan service, maybe leave it. But I'm going to check it out.
And your kids might like it. Younger kids might enjoy the movie a lot.
Kara said she loves the original film, but yeah, Afterlife did not do it for her.
Me neither.
Full Moon said, I thought the end went on long, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, no, again, it's something I got to check out. But Ethel, do you think we've covered everything there's to cover in Ghostbusters? Or is there anything you want to bring up or talk about?
Like, as far as the animated series, I believe so. I mean, if you want to make mention of the movies and the remake, we got to make mention of the video game, which was a spiritual third movie up until they made that Afterlife.
Yeah, that was a really good game, and it came out in a number of platforms. Not only did it come out, like, it came out for the Wii, and it came out for the Xbox 360 and the PS4, right?
Yeah.
And I think they released like a HD version and stuff. So you basically played the fifth Ghostbuster, and it's kind of funny thing. It's essentially you're the fucking Aegis who has to try out all the new experimental equipment. So if it blows up, it doesn't kill the other lads, if I'm not mistaken. It's been ages since I played it.
Yeah, and it really they had the voice cast for it from the movie, and it was something special.
I heard it was a really good game. Marty, should we touch on the other Ghostbusters movie, the one everybody hates, the infamous one?
I think it's only fair. Now, right, I'm gonna fucking go from the offset here. I'm not gonna bring up any something about it being too woke or anything. I like Kate McKinnon. I tolerate Melissa McCarthy. I like Christine Wiig. I like who's the other? Who's oh Christ, the African American actress.
From Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of her name either.
Like again, Kate McKinnon was brilliant. I think she saved the movie for me. It's like it's nothing to do with them being women. It's just a bad movie. It's badly written. Like
Yeah.
it's not their fault. Leslie Jones. Thank you, Scott Stevens. You fucking done a Hail Mary play there. Thank you very much. Leslie Jones. That is one thing I did find insulting, okay? And I'm not trying to be all woke and stuff. So in the original one, you had Winston, who was the blue collar worker who joins us. And obviously he's African American. They have a chance to go, okay, Leslie Jones, maybe she's a scientist. Maybe she's a doctor. Maybe she's an expert. No, she's a ticket attendant in the subway system. It's like, you get what I'm saying, right, Jen?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. They could have done something a little cooler and, maybe for the times, and they didn't. They kind of dropped the ball on that. My thoughts on the movie is I don't even care about that they're women or anything like that. That's cool. And girls can, maybe some little girls could see the toys and go, hey, we can play with them. They're just not for boys, unlike Jen in the 80s. I'm like you, it's just not a particularly good movie. I don't care that they're women. It's just that they're really, and again, it's kind of a lot of fan service, but not done very well. Like, I didn't think it was done very well. Did you?
No, they've turned the fucking Ghostbusters symbol into the main bad guy at the end. All these characters are turning up. And it's like, even if you set it in the same universe, even if it's like, okay, these guys are retired, they want nothing to do with it. But instead, no one's heard of the Ghostbusters. It's like, no, you're like, it feels like you're trampling all over the stuff. Like, even the designs for the ghosts weren't that kind of interesting.
No.
But they look like a fucking haunted mansion.
They did.
Yeah.
All right, this is a very superficial complaint. But the uniform, what the fuck did they do to the uniform? And why did they make them look so frumpy? Like, no self-respecting woman is gonna look that frumpy and have it's just no.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Yeah, I would not be caught dead in that.
Maybe they were saying, okay, it's not about maybe they were making a statement. It's not women. These women wouldn't care about fashion, but all women want. That's not being sexist. I don't think it's just that's part of it. I mean, all people want to look nice. You want to put your best foot forward.
The fucking uniforms had random reflectors across the front of them and on the side. Like, why? What are they gonna go bicycling in the middle of the night? It makes no fucking sense.
Scott brings up a good point. The cameos, none of them wanted to be there. Like, Bill Murray was notorious about it, but I don't think anyone else was particularly happy about it either.
No. I still like they at least had the decency to put up like a statue of Harold Ramis in the college in the background. But like Jen, you whatever your thoughts on Afterlife, it's certainly it's an improvement upon 2016.
Yeah, Afterlife, don't get me wrong, it's not a horrible movie. And there was a couple places I kind of smiled, but a lot of things that people were complaining about were the things that I liked and the things that people loved. I was like, really, guys? So I'm a weird thing, but no, it's not. Afterlife isn't a bad movie. It's not a movie I'll ever return to. It's just not a movie I'll ever return to. I saw it once, cool. If Jake wants to watch it, cool, but that's about it.
The other thing that kind of bothered me about 2016 Ghostbusters, Lady Ghostbusters, is all right. Harold Ramis, he was very clear that he didn't want to do another movie unless it was going to be that third movie, which Hollywood kept saying no, and Bill Murray kept saying no, and everybody was like dragging their feet on. And then he dies. And then, not even a fucking month later, they announce, oh, we're going to make a Ghostbusters reboot. And it's like, dude, can you be less obvious? Let's wait till the body gets cold. I mean, he's barely fucking assumed horizontal position here.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
It's all about the money. It was about the money, not about the love.
Hey,
Yeah.
Morbid Heart Designs. Hello.
Oh, Morbid Heart Designs. Hola.
If you haven't checked out her art, speaking of spooky stuff, check out her stuff because it's absolutely the fucking, it's the dog's bollocks. It's fucking
Let's
awesome.
go.
Scott Stevens says, I agree, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a one and done for me, even though I like the song Mechanic Ray sings in the end credits called Haunted House, which is song is awesome.
It is. That is a good song, Scott. I liked
Yeah.
it too.
So guys and ladies and folks and people and living mortals, I think we've covered everything we can cover on Ghostbusters. So we'll move on to our next thing. But before we move on, I should let you know, right? We are going to be talking about TMNT, the animated series. If you want to know about the movies, the fantastic Ethel Cross below me there, she and myself and Trenchy, she hosted a great stream all about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So go back to her back catalogue and check that out if you want some more kind of in-depth stuff on the Turtles. We're going to be skimming over the movies and maybe concentrating on the animated show. So Jen, what do you know about the Turtles? Were you that bit older?
Surprisingly, yes. Like it was. I remember they used to play on Saturday mornings, and I was a big Garfield was my favorite cartoon character growing up as a kid. But even I liked the Turtles, and I was all about Cowabunga Dude, and I loved Michelangelo and Raphael, and I liked Splinter, and I liked the humor, and I liked the bad guys, and I loved the voice acting for Shredder done by the same guy who Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I cannot remember the
James
actor.
Avery. I think it's
Yes,
James
Yeah.
Avery.
I love the dynamic between him and Krang because they were basically an old married couple, and it was really funny. And like it weirded out my parents because I generally wasn't into that kind of stuff. But even every Saturday morning, after Garfield, I would stick around to watch that. Now I never had any of the toys, but this is all my son Christian's and my son Jake's toys. But I did like the cartoon quite a bit. It was fun. And I loved the movies too. The first two movies were really good. I actually liked the first two movies quite a bit.
Yeah, they were good. They were great. The interesting thing is, in Europe, when it was brought over to Europe, and they had to alter the animation, so it went from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because the ideology of a ninja is an assassin and a killer, and that's too violent. And also at the time, nunchucks were the Michelangelo's nunchucks were taken out in the latter seasons.
Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't know
because
that.
yeah, I
Oh.
think their idea was because Ethel, sorry, did you have some input? Did you have an idea on why that might have been?
Well, I just had something to add to that, just on the subject of nunchucks. They took them out of the show in Europe and mostly in UK land, and coincidentally, nunchucks are actually illegal for people to possess in Canada, which, as everybody knows, is sort of like a subsidiary of England in a way.
The thing is, maybe the reasoning behind it was that, okay, it's hard for kids to get their hands on a katana or a sai, although bow staff you could just use your fucking broom handle. But I suppose they were running some heated duct tape, like two halves of a broom handle together on like a fucking string or a chain, and start fucking clottering the shit out of their fucking their friends or their brothers and stuff. But
We always used to do that with toilet paper rolls or socks.
wet socks. Wet socks, they hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you take two socks and you tie a knot in the ends, and then you tie them together, and you're like, I got nunchucks, and like that's what a lot of us kids did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was like, my eye. Fucking wet socks. Kara says, not a big fan of the 80s Turtles, but I understand why people like them. They grew up with them. But for me, they're too goofy, and I think that's because I grew up with the more serious Turtles. Yeah, Kara, the ones you grew up with were a lot closer to the Mirage comics by Easterman and Laird because they were a lot darker. I mean, fucking, I think by the 5th issue, Leonardo like runs Shredder through, kills Shredder, like eviscerates him, and like there's other the turtles nearly die, and fucking Casey Jones is like hammering. Casey Jones goes fucking American History X, if I'm not mistaken, and like bashes the foot's head on the sidewalk.
Oh, those two. Although I will say, Marty, as far as the animated series from the '80s is concerned, those two first episodes, or maybe it was the first 3 episodes, they were often strung together as a movie and they were released on VHS as a movie. And it was slightly more serious than the rest of the episodes that would follow. Still had zany moments, but it was slightly.
Like, do you remember where April was looking for a lead on the story, and it was Ninja Pizza, and she went in and like the Foot Clan are there with their masks and shit flipping down because something strange here. And I'm like, well, you're not winning the Pulitzer, are you? You fucking
Yeah. Fucking Ninja Pizza. Like if I ever own a pizza place, I'm calling it Ninja Pizza, and everybody's got to dress like Foot Clan. All the waiters and waitresses.
It's a look. It's a uniform.
Scott, the reason I love Fridays, number of reasons I love Fridays, right? So, end of school, end of the week, school, no homework, and at fucking 4:30, the last cartoon, there was a TV, kind of kids' TV block called The Den. It was kind of like had puppets and stuff on it, hosted by puppets. And the last one they showed was TMNT. And I was like, yeah! And my dad was like, that fucking thing better be over by the time the news comes on. I'm like,
Like, watching it in my local area was great because after the first season wrapped up and we got on to season 2, they started showing it after school on weekdays.
Yeah.
So like you could catch season 1 through the beginning of season 2 every day after school. I think it was like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Guys, you in the chat there, I want you to name your favorite character from the Turtles, be it the movies or the animated show, whichever. Let me know in the chat.
Yeah.
Ethel, did you have any favorite episode of TMNT?
Oh my God! Like well, like I always say, like those first 3 episodes, because of how they were presented on VHS, became kind of favorites of mine. I also liked the episode where they had the mutant cow. There was a mutant bull. If you recall that one.
Oh yeah, it was weird. It mutated and got bigger, and its 2 front legs went into one big front leg.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Ethel, was that the one? Was that one where they went around Europe? I think that one was set in Ireland.
No, that was it. No, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was Ireland. Wasn't it in like Wyoming or something like that? It was in like the Midwest.
Okay, there was one set in Ireland with mutant animals that escaped from Dublin Zoo. I remember that. I thought I was pretty happy with that. I was like, oh my God, younger me, the turtles are in Ireland. The turtles.
And like I also liked the one with what was it? Jeez, I'm trying to remember. Is it Mecha Turtle, Metalhead?
Yeah. That
I thought he was cool because he's a robot.
So I'm just going to quickly go over. Kara says her favorite character is 2003 Shredder. Yeah, he was pretty dark. Was he a neutrino kind of like Krang? It turned out he was some fucking kind of a brain creature like Krang. Ben Grimm says Yusaki Yojimbo, who had his own comic and crossed over with Bulletproof Monk. They made a movie of Bulletproof Monk with Chow Yun-fat, and he was a creation of Easterman and Laird. Morbid Heart Design says Leonardo from the cartoon, didn't really see the movies. From the first movie, because I never really watched the show, was Casey Jones. Scott Stevens, I like April O'Neil from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie played by Judith Hope. Yeah, she left because she was a pacifist. I think she's a born-again Christian, and she didn't like all the violence. So she left and she got replaced in the second movie. Ben Grimm. I always liked the bad guys. My favorite part of the show was seeing the bad guy the episode. Leatherback Metalhead Baxter Stockman. I love them all. Leatherhead. His name was Leatherhead. That's Leatherhead there. He's an alligator from the bayou, and he kind of took on. One. Yeah, he took on fucking the frogs that teamed up with the turtles.
Didn't he come with like a plastic lobster or a crawfish?
I think so.
He came with Jesus, the Ghostbusters. He came with a belt. It was a belt with the crawfish in his thing, but he came with a bear trap and a pump action shotgun.
Ooh. I remember the bear trap.
Yeah, I came with a pump action shotgun, and I had General Trag as well. And the figures were cool. Your man from Retro Blasting, Michael Finch, brings it up. I don't have a problem with it, but they were very highly designed because, like, Trag had spiders and snakes crawling all over him, and like fucking the Bat guy had like a fucking weird kind of parasite coming out of his ear, a weird snot that like they could try to make him. I think the later characters that were influenced by the toxic Avengers.
Oh yeah, you had Muckman, and he had like the dude in the trash can on his back.
Do you know who was an absolute dick hound, and she was always trying to fucking pull some dick? Irma nearly fucked a robot.
I liked Irma.
You would.
I haven't thought about Irma in forever. I liked Irma.
You had Irma and Vern, and like you had the Channel 5 cat or crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked the toys. The toys were so good. Like they had the pizza shooter. The pizza shooter was awesome.
This one shoots pizza. I don't know if this is the one, but this one shoots pizza.
That's the turtle van, but that's not the original turtle van. I don't remember a turtle head on it.
No, this one came out when Christian was little. This is Christian's old This wasn't from the old show, but I didn't have that. But I do have this one.
Actually, Jen, just pan over to that stuff again. Cara, if you're still watching, can you identify if these are from the 2003 show? Because I think they are.
Some of them are from Christian, some of them are Jake. It just like the Bebop, I think, is a reissue because I got that for Jake or Rocksteady. One of them.
Ben Grimm says Irma was hot.
Yeah.
Ben likes them nerdy girls with the glasses.
I always assumed that like fucking Irma was like this 27-year-old Jewish girl that was put down by her mother the whole time. It was like, you'll never get a job. You'll never get a husband if you don't work harder. Like I gotta just fucking.
They look so different, Jen. They don't even like half of these don't even look like Ninja Turtles characters.
Yeah, these are from Christian and Jaker's time. Like the only one that's vintage is the Casey Jones. We found him in a thrift store, but everything else is either from Christian's time or Jakey's time. I think this is supposed to be Krang, but I'm not sure.
You damn kids, get off my lawn.
So Ben Grimm says Irma was hot. Irma in the 2012 show was secretly Krang in a robot form. Christian says, to be honest, I thought she was cuter than April.
Really?
Master Fear says no, 2012, so those figures are from 2012. I love the Nintendo game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're getting to that because that game is fucking awesome. Ben Grimm says Irma was a freak in the sheets. Most of them TMT were from the TMT movie from 2007. Christian says. Here I can join the stream so I can explain those characters because I know who they are and the 2012 show. I'm going to give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, but okay, we'll let Cara in to explain, and only Cara. If I see someone else that isn't Cara, there'll be trouble. If Christian wants to come in as actually, do you know what? Whoever can come in. But we're talking about turtles. Don't fucking no dicks. Sorry, Jen.
Aw. No tall mushrooms in this stream.
No. Tall dandelions, though. Tall dandelions that Baxter Stockman looking fucker found in Secret of the Use.
Oh yeah.
But
I always wanted a giant dandelion.
Jen, that's actually that's one porn. If you wanted to watch, we could watch it.
Okay.
TMNT
Dandelion porn?
porno.
We could do that.
Yeah. Okay, we have Cara.
Cara.
Okay,
Hey,
so Cara,
Hey.
Cara, I'm going to let you explain 2012 or 2003, but I will insist that you don't bash the original one because there's a lot of people here who love it. But
I don't bash the. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of explain. First, I'll explain my thoughts on the original show. Yes, I don't like it, but do I think people who do like it are like idiots? No, I get why you guys like it. It's something you grew up with. You guys, those were your turtles. You got used to the goofiness. I'm not used to it. That's why I'm like, I don't like it because I'm used to more serious, and you guys are used to more goofy. And that's why I love the movies, because they took the goofiness and the seriousness and combined it, and it was great. But that character, that is not Crane. You hold it up. That is a guy. What happens with that guy is he's a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? In the 2012 show. He's a fan of them. And he sneaks into their lair and like tries to infect himself with mutagen so he can become a turtle, and he turns into that thing.
Okay. I always assumed it was like a weird looking, like an updated Krang. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Crane is in that show. Sorry. You can
go for it, Cara. Go for it. Go on.
Crane is in that show, but he's a species. There's hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're enemies to the neutrinos, the neutrinos. What's the fucking name of the brain race again? Shit, I'm after forgetting. Because they were in the comics as well. Cara, do you remember the name of the brains? What these species are called?
Yes, the Utrom.
The Utron. Okay.
Yes.
But
that's in the 2003 show. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. But in the 2003 one, wasn't Shredder one of them? Wasn't Shredder one of them
Yes.
in disguise? Yeah.
Yes, he was a Neutron.
Okay. So, Ethel, was there any other toys you wanted, or was there any episodes you liked?
Well, like I liked the episode with the pizza morphs. I liked the episode where like Baxter got turned into a fly. Like that was cool. The toys were great. Like I had the turtle van, but it was secondhand. I got it from a friend of mine because they'd broken it. So like they actually broke the door off the side, and the lid wouldn't stay on anymore. And like the guns were missing, but I had the turtle van. That was the version I had, was the broken version. But it was cool. Like I used it, I played with it, I loved it. It's awesome. Was happy to have it. I had a bunch of the toys. I had like the movie versions of the toys where they were all rubbery and stuff, which those were cool. And I had Leatherhead. I had I didn't have April. I wish I'd had April, but I never was able to get April. We and my friends, we all used to snicker because like on her uniform, the part that said press, instead of being like up closer to her collarbone, it was like almost on her boob exactly. And like it was kind of funny because it's like, what the hell? Like press, nothing happens. There's no sound being made. It was just weird. Like why are you gonna do that with a toy? Put it up close to the collarbone. Come on. But like, I wanted the blimp. The blimp was cool too. Like, I never got the blimp, but that would have been cool to have.
TMNT toys back in the day were like fucking gold dust. You would have a better chance of getting the fucking Ark of the Covenant than them. I got some of the bad. I got a load of the bad guys, but I didn't. I wasn't till later on I got some of the turtles. I had one turtle, but it was the wacky turtles. Basically, they had the Bill Cosby sex face on them, like the tongue sticking out, like stuff like, pudding pop kind of. What the fuck do they all look like Cosby? Keep them away from April. Jen, why do you think so many boys had a crush on April O'Neil in the original cartoon?
Well, because she was hot, and even that banana pantsuit she wore. I mean, it was pretty hot. And then she went with the turtles. She wasn't a particularly girly girl, and I always thought that probably appealed to some of the guys. She wasn't prissy. She wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty or go on adventures with them. And she was always getting the story, and she helped the turtles. And she was pretty both in the movies and in the cartoon. She was pretty. Although Irma, I think there should be some love for Irma. I'm glad to see there's some love for Irma in the chat.
No, there was lots of side characters I liked, both good and bad. I liked fucking Chrome Dome. I liked Leatherhead. I liked General Trag, Baxter Stockman, the Frogs, Yusaki Yojimbo. There was other kind of good characters. There was although the neutrinos, I can't remember what was. Basically, there were 50s greasers who traveled around in fucking hover Cadillacs. Do you remember them?
I remember them. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I didn't remember them until you said it, and then it's like ringing bells.
Oh, don't forget about Ace Duck.
He only appeared in the cartoon they watched.
Yeah, but you had the action figure.
Yeah, well, I had the. Ethel, fun fact: Laird and Easterman were making so much money from the animated series, they turned around to their kind of designers and said, "Look, any money we get off a new character, a new figure based on a character you design, you can keep the money because we're getting fucking screwed by the tax man, so you might as well take it." Yeah, the banana pantsuit. Ben Grimm said she filled out that yellow suit very well.
She did.
But
did you like her, Marty, or did you not care for April?
I don't know. I like it. Again, you did point out she was kind of a tomboy and kind of done a lot of good stuff, but she was the original one. Now, Cara will probably point out, and rightly so, that the new April is a lot more proactive. But while, the original April was fairly good, she had to get rescued a lot. She had to get fucking rescued a hell of a lot. Like, can we agree on that?
Yeah.
She was very much a damsel.
Yeah, she did. 2003, on the other hand, she was more, not the damsel. She was more.
I was never bothered by her getting rescued a lot, though. Like,
me neither.
I mean, I don't
actually. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, actually, speaking of April, that's actually one of the figures I have in my collection at my grandparents' house is April, because I didn't remember her the other day, but I remember because I would always have her like be the one when I would play with the toys. I'd have her be the one who shuts down the machine, which that's what I called it at the time. I called it Shredder's Ultimate Weapon because I didn't know it was called the Technodrome.
The Technodrome. Again, I like the Technodrome for two reasons. One, it looks cool. Also, it sounds like a German nightclub. Hey, Dika, let's go to the Technodrome. Boom, 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 boom. Like, it's a shame, Cara, you don't have it because it would be cool to showcase it. Actually, Cara, have you any turtle figures there to hand that you want to show off?
Oh, I have some Mega Blocks. Hang on. They're from the 2012 show. That's what they're branded off of. But there's still some turtle. Most of the turtle. You gotta remember, I had these old turtle figures from my uncle. So when I was a kid, I really didn't buy turtle figures because I'm like, what's the point? I have all these figures to play with already from him. So I really didn't buy any for myself.
But if you want to showcase any of them, show them off there. Also, Ben Grimm says the new April is played by Kat Graham. Who's Kat Graham?
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
They're pretty cool.
Ooh.
Mega Blocks, blast off.
But yeah,
But Marty, didn't you guys didn't you guys like to have April, like when you were playing with your action figures, did you ever have any scenarios where you saved April? And wasn't that kind of like, didn't that make you feel, like knight in shining armor?
Well, no, 9 times out of 10 it was just us murdering the same. It's like all the kids in the neighborhood came together. And if you were lucky, maybe 2 of the kids had 2 foot soldiers. But there would be this one poor bastard that would have to act as the entire division of the Foot Clan and be murdered over and over and over and over again. Ethel, because you know your video games, do you want to talk about the awesome fucking arcade, Turtles arcade games?
Yeah, well, like first off, like we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES, and it was great. And like if you look at the box art for the game, this was made by Ultra. They all had the red bandanas, just like in the comic books, because like the different colored bandanas are an invention of the cartoon series and the movies. Originally, they all had the red bandanas.
Yeah, it was to help identify the characters for kids. Like,
Yeah, and like the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, it really is like it's hard. It's a hard game. It's a legit hard game. Like it is NES hard. It's one of them games that coined that term. And it wasn't even hard because it was glitchy or bullshit. It was hard because it was actually fucking difficult. And you had to make sure you get the scrolls, and you had to use the right turtles at the right time, and you had to swap them out and conserve your life and get your pizza. Like, it's great. And it had one of the greatest soundtracks of any 8-bit video game ever. I have legit just sat here before and just listened to the soundtrack all the way through.
It was an awesome game, but again, bastard hard. I was adamant it was fucking LJN for a while, and I was like, no, it's just a good company that made a fucking super hard game. But
Ultra, and then we had Teenage.
Go on, Ethel. One.
No, I was just gonna say it was great, and then we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, which was awesome. Like if you had 3 friends and you went down to the arcade and you had enough quarters, you could beat that game, and it was so satisfying.
And some of the baddies, they pulled in baddies not just from the animated show but the movies. So you fought Baxter Stockman, you fought Super Shredder, you fought Toka and Razor, you fought Leatherhead, and then there was the Turtles in Time one, which is often confused for the third movie, which is not the fucking is not the actual title. It doesn't have a subtitle.
You also had the Manhattan Project, which was released for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that again, fucking awesome video games. And if you had a mate playing with you, they kicked arse. They kicked absolute arse.
And not to be forgotten, we can't forget Tournament Fighter.
Yeah, there was they couldn't get the rights to they couldn't get the rights, I think, to the character of what's Shredder's daughter called again?
Oh, what is it?
Karai.
They couldn't get the rights to Karai, so they changed her costume color and named her after the character from Turtles 3.
Yeah, they had Asuka.
Yeah.
And
no,
sorry.
No,
I also wanted to point out that if you played the NES version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, they actually made it a bit longer. They added levels and bosses to make it longer because the arcade game's actually quite kind of short.
It was a cool game because like there's bits in the sewer where you're fighting the pizza morphs and like you're fucking fighting the rat king on a jet ski, and it was just yeah.
Speaking of turtle games, actually, oh sorry.
No, go for it, Kara.
I was gonna say, speaking of turtle games, I heard that they're kind of pulling a Spider-Man PS4 or Batman Arkham with a new Turtles game. It's not going to be based on any of the previous like continuities. It's going to be its own continuity of turtle games.
Oh yeah, they've actually done an updated version of the arcade game as well for Xbox Live.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. Well,
There-
yeah,
I'm still
there's
stuck on
also-
PlayStation. Oh, sorry.
go on, Ethel.
I was gonna say there's also a if you're really into playing the old 8-bit and 16-bit Ninja Turtles games, there's a great fan-made game, which is it's pretty small and it's pretty sleek, so it'll run on even if you got yourself an older computer, it'll run really well on it. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza, which is an absolute awesome game, love letter by fans. To the video games and the franchise. You can play as all the characters. All the characters are playable, and you unlock. Basically, they put in almost every villain from the cartoon series.
Jesus, that's a big fucking roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. You should play it, and the ending is hard as balls. So it's great.
Yay.
Ethel, which is your favorite movie? I know again, guys, go check out Ethel's channel for a more kind of concise video on the movies. But which is your favorite movie and why?
All right. Well, like it's tough because I'm very split between the first and second movie. Like there are things I love about the first movie. I like how it's dark and it's gritty and like it sort of follows the comic books a little bit here and there. And you've got this great you've got sort of like it's not a romantic subplot, but it almost is between Casey Jones and April, which is kind of nice. And you've got this whole point in time in the movie where they're breathing. They're at that farmhouse, and you take a breather from the action, and you get to know the characters. It's really nice. But then you got Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, which I like a lot because not only do you got David Warner, who was in Star Trek: The Next Generation and one of the Star Trek movies, you also have you also had Kano.
Yeah.
Or
And the thing is though, I think I discussed this with you. I was so disappointed because I remember when I was younger, I thought that's Baxter Stockman. I was like, no.
Yeah, nothing doing. David Warner never ended up being Baxter Stockman. And I like how they they had the serum for the reverse mutagen serum was in a Bart Simpson glass.
Yeah.
That.
The annoying part is like, oh, we're getting 2 mutants. It's going to be Rocksteady and Bebop. No, it's Toka and Razor because they didn't get the rights.
Mama.
Jen, have you a favorite TMNT movie?
Yeah, I'm like Ethel, like I surprisingly, and this always surprised my parents because I wasn't that kind of kid, but I fucking loved, and I'm probably gonna say the first one is definitely my favorite, although I do have a real soft spot for Secret of the Ooze too. But the first one is just so much fun, and I like the romantic subplot kind of between Casey Jones and April O'Neil. I like Splinter. I like how Splinter is in the movie. I like it all. I must have watched that VHS over and over and over again as a kid. And I also like Secret of the Ooze. And I don't care. I fucking thought it was cool Vanilla Ice was in Secret of the Ooze too. I was go ninja, go ninja, go.
Go ninja, go.
I thought it was fucking awesome.
There's a movie I love, and it's not live action. It's actually called Turtles Forever. I think Ben brought it up. And if you haven't seen Kara, have you seen Turtles Forever?
Yes, that's the crossover between 2003 and the 80s Turtles.
Yeah, and the Mirage comics. So the
Yeah.
2003 Turtles end up crossing over to the 80s universe, and they're like, "What's the deal with these fucking clowns? Why are they acting bollocks? Why is April dressed like a banana? What the fuck is going on here?" And they have to rescue him, and then they go into like the Mirage universe where you have fucking Dirty Harry turtles, like the same turtles who killed the Shredder, and they're like, "What's the fucking deal with the colored headbands, lads?" It's like the 2004 ones are making fun of the 1980s ones, and the Mirage ones are like, "Why have you name buckles? Why have you your initials on your name buckle? What the fuck?" It's a great cartoon, and it even references the live action movies. And Shredder fucking has a freak attack when he realizes that there's an insurmountable amount of universes with different types of turtles. So it's pretty cool. If you get a chance, check it out.
That Turtles Forever. When I was a little kid, I actually had an idea because that gave me an idea for like since I saw all these turtles coming together. It gave me an idea when I was little. What if there was a team of turtles, but it was 4 turtles picked from the multiverse, each one from a different universe, to take on a multiversal threat, like a cosmic enemy, or you could have the Utrom Shredder return since he wants to destroy the multiverse. I actually had that idea when I was a kid because I thought it'd be cool having a multiverse turtles.
Pretty cool. No Way Home kind of deal. That's a pretty cool idea.
Well, yeah, it is like No Way Home, but like I had this when I was a kid, so it was before.
Oh no. I'm not saying you got the idea. I know, but I know it's your idea. I was just saying that it's a cool idea. It's like that. Ben Grimm says, fun fact: TMNT 3 was the first VHS I purchased myself. You poor lad.
Anybody like 3? Does anybody besides maybe Ben? Does anybody like 3?
What they've got the Japanese guys in their underwear dancing around. That was a lot of fun.
Morbid Heart Designs, thanks a million for tuning in. You're the best. And again, guys, if you're into kind of spooky art or kick-ass art, check out Morbid Heart Designs artwork. She does some fucking amazing stuff. And yeah, it's kick-ass. Definitely check it out. Oh, yeah, Ben, there was a crossover. It's a shame Christian isn't here because he knows about this one.
He does.
Cara, you know about the Power Rangers crossover, right? Cara?
Oh, she's muted.
Muted.
Okay. So
Christian,
yeah,
if you're in
Saban,
the chat, jump in for a minute. You got to talk about this.
if he's there, because basically Saban done their own live action version of the Turtles that was set in the movie universe, and they met up with the Power Rangers, and it's so fucking bad.
Yeah, that was Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation.
Oh god, the next constipation, more like.
Yeah, the show did suck.
You could I couldn't look away from it. Like Christian and I watched it together, and we couldn't look away. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Like a car wreck. Like,
yeah.
What did you think with Venus de Milo? They added a female turtle called Venus de Milo, and her headband. Her headband was her fucking plait.
Yeah.
Yeah. What fucking? Yeah. Let's give a turtle jugs and say she's female, and give her a bad stereotypical Asian accent. Oh,
I could not stop looking at her boobs, Marty. I just couldn't stop looking at that because, of course, I couldn't.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Titties. Teenage Mutant Ninja Titties.
And I believe there was
Heroes
like
in a D cup. Heroes in a D cup.
Sparky, get your ass in here. You have to talk about this because I can't remember all of it. You have to get your ass in here and talk about it.
Nipple power.
Terrible.
They fought the Shredder.
Almost
sorry,
as bad. I was just saying, it's almost as bad as We Wish You Were Turtle Christmas.
That was fucking gold.
I'm waiting to watch that with Trench. Me and Trench are gonna watch that. He's gonna watch it again, and I'm gonna watch it for the first time.
Yeah, Cara, did you not watch it with us during Christmas, or was it? Oh, you came in
No,
after. You watched the Muppets.
I watched Muppets because this is before I was able to find your channel,
No,
so I wasn't able to see it.
That's okay. Yeah, so they done a crossover. There's some cool comics as well to check out. Speaking of Ghostbusters, as I said before, they crossed over with Ghostbusters. There is so IDW done an event, an X-Files Lone Gunman comic, where Mulder and Scully bump into the Ghostbusters. They investigate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the sewer, and they also take on the vampires from 30 Days a Night. It's fun, but it's batshit insane. So if you're looking for an interest in Turtles or Ghostbusters crossover, yeah, check out the crossovers with the X-Files and the Lone Gunmen. The Lone Gunmen, basically Mulder and Scully meet the Ghostbusters, and the Lone Gunmen go into the sewers looking for the Turtles.
The pizza is out there.
Yeah, just a pizza spinning on Mulder's poster. John done a mural for a city park with them dressed in Christmas garb. Holy shit, John, have you got this? Fucking hell.
Come on, Homer. Move it.
But
Sorry, I was moving the animatronic Homer.
That's okay. Yeah, I think we've covered everything there is to cover. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Jen, Ethel, Cara, is there anything else you want to bring up?
No.
Hey, I just got the Egon figure I was talking about earlier. I was going to turn on the camera, so if you guys tell me if this is a retro figure or an actual original. So, is this thing original?
I can't see. The light is washing it out. You got to have the light on your subject.
The thing is, Cara, where did you get it?
I got it from Christmas somewhere. For Christmas.
Right. I know it says Kenner on the back of the box, but also look for Hasbro. If Hasbro is on the back, then it's not.
Yeah, it says Hasbro.
Yeah, it's not. It's the one Jen got me as well. They're the reissue. They're the same as the Fearsome Flush. It's still a pretty cool figure. Ben Grimm said the Lone Gunman predicted 9/11. You sure as shit can find the Turtles. Okay. Nice.
You know, that's
oh, sorry, what?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this is sort of an offshoot of the X-Files that we were just talking about. But like, isn't it kind of weird we never got an X-Files animated series?
Yeah.
We nearly got a Buffy animated series. But
we had Buffy, we had Men in Black, we never got an X-File.
Maybe someday. Guys,
it seems natural.
I'm going to round it up here unless anyone has any last thoughts. I'm going to let people plug for stuff. Anything else?
Cowabunga, I guess.
Cowabunga, dudes.
Cowabunga. Oh. So Jen, what is next? You have a new video up. It came up about 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago.
I did not know that. It probably, I'm going to guess, is the Night House one. Christian probably put that. Yeah, it's the Night House one. Guys, check it out. It's going to be an interesting video because Christian and I have very diverse thoughts about this. And you guys might hate me because I am not in the majority of what most people, I know most people love this film. I'm not in that majority. So tune in if you want to hear some controversial takes from me. It's a fun video. And Marty and I will be doing Trash Picture Show on Saturday. We're going to be doing a special one.
Trash Fire. We're doing
Whoa.
And next week, I'm handing the reins of my channel over to Jen.
Oh,
Jen,
God.
what are you going to be discussing? And
Yeah.
you're also looking for candidates to participate as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I saw Jennifer Tochi in the chat earlier. Jen, if you're still in, you might be interested in this. Calling all 80s babies or any lover of the lovers of 80s babies sounds wrong. Strike that. People who appreciate 80s cartoons, that sounds better, because the boys have had all their fun, but us girls matter too, and we want to talk about sparkly, pretty berry things. So we're going to be talking all about 80s girls cartoons, but you boys are welcome. It's not an all-girls club. Marty's going to be there. He might be dressing up as a special character if I can shake my fringe at him and get him to do it.
Ta.
Yay! And he might be tasting my berries.
It'll be a very good stream, and it'll be on Jen's channel, and everybody knows all my friends are Jen girls, and Jen will come in.
Yes, Ethel's gonna be on it. It's gonna be
I think Jen, you're having issues with the net at the moment. So
yeah,
it's going to be on mine, but I'm basically giving you the reins to host it.
Yeah, God help you all. But don't try to cancel Marty if I do some things. Cancel Jen. Don't cancel Marty. I can still wear that outfit, right, Marty? I can still wear that outfit.
No.
So make sure you tune into that. Bring your color sprinkles. It'll be great.
And rainbows and Care Bears.
Oh,
yes.
Care Bears.
You guys are gonna love it.
Ethel, what have you got in the pipeline?
Oh, well, all right. This Friday we have watch along. The votes have been tabulated, and it is going to be Brother from Another Planet. It's going to be great.
So pretty cool. And have you anything else in the pipeline people need to keep an eye out for? Or is there anything else? As I said before, if you were into the Turtles stream tonight, the Turtles aspect, go back, check out Ethel's channel, because myself and Trenchy appear on a fantastic episode Ethel hosted all about the Turtles. Well, sorry, Ethel, I cut across you. Go on.
No, you're good. Definitely check out that Sci-Fi Sunday episode we did on Ninja Turtles. Next month I will be taking over Sundays, and I will be bringing back Sci-Fi Sunday, and we're going to be we'll be talking about I'm going to make you wait till Friday. You're going to have to tune in Friday to watch along and wait till the end of the show, and I will tell you what we're doing every Sunday next month. It'll be great.
We're all dripping with anticipation. Or is that just me?
Kara, what have you in the pipeline?
Well, almost finished with episode 1 of I actually have the full title for it now. It's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay.
Got that. We're almost finished. Trying to figure out everything to do with the Ghostbusters stream, when to get that all going. Trying to find out when Trenchy gets back, because he's gonna be a part of it, so I gotta figure out when he gets back. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just figuring out streams and finishing stop motion, and then actually, speaking of Trenchy, he's actually gonna be on an episode of my stop motion Spider-Man. He's going to be playing a villain. I don't know which villain yet, though, but he's going to be playing a villain.
Although it's hard to think of Trenchy as a villain. The dude's just so lovable. Also, heads up. Oh, sorry, Ethel. One.
Well, I was just saying, salt of the earth.
He is. He's an absolute dote of a lad. Also, Chris Full Moon says that he's looking for players for next Saturday because he is resurrecting his gaming streams. So if anyone's interested, maybe hit him up there. Don't actually physically hit him because he's a nice dude. Maybe just drop him a
You
message.
might
or
be
something.
into that, Marty. Some people are. Don't kink shame.
Jen, my arse is still destroyed from that fucking paddle. Okay.
I
What
told
the-
you, put some cream on it. It'll be fine. We got all the splinters out for the most part, right?
There was
We got
rhinestones on it. You glued rhinestones onto the fucking thing.
It made a pretty
Jesus.
pattern, Marty, and I love rubbing my hands across your ass now because it feels so good.
God damn it, Jen. Yeah, I have the word MILF embedded in my arse thanks to your paddle.
Huh?
I digress. What about myself?
I
Well,
don't even want to know what's.
you don't,
I don't
Kara.
know.
You don't. But I
No,
digress,
no,
guys.
no.
If you're interested, myself and Jen done a really good live stream discussing history of violence. David Cronenberg's History of Violence yesterday. Definitely check that out. We kind of took a break from the schlock and the silly to do something a bit more kind of highbrow. I know, don't faint. But yeah, definitely check that out. And yeah, check out these three amazing ladies. Check out Jen, my lovely girlfriend. Check out Ethel, a fantastic creator, a great friend, an ally, and contributor, and amigo of the channel. And check out Cara, because like myself, she is a dab hand at stop motion. I want to thank everyone who was in the chat tonight. Also, I want to thank Christian. I want to thank Full Moon. I want to thank Scott Stevens, Ben Grimm, John Steele, Morbid Heart Designs. Cara was obviously in the stream. Who else had we? We had Mike Tarrant. We had I think I said John Steele, but I'll say it again to be sure. I think I got everyone. I think that's that. Oh, Strange Monkey Reviews.
And
Big
Jennifer
thanks to
Tochi.
them. Big and Jennifer Tochi. Big thanks to everyone who was in the stream. You're great. Tune in next week for some girly goodness with some very
And we can wear 90s. We can wear 90s, right? Cutie little 90s. We can do that.
Ah,
yeah. Just use duct tape. Just
We
tape
use
up that
that.
shit.
I always
we have
use
all
that.
the
Right.
we
With
will
that,
engage in all the talk.
with that, I'm going to finish up. So everyone, have a good